Ash Paulson, we just experienced a direct for the weirdos. This is
hell yeah, we did.
It's wild what they announced in this. Not that many like close things. We're going into this. We're like, okay, April's pretty empty, May's pretty empty, June's pretty empty. They've got to date some games. And you know what Nintendo did? They didn't do that. They instead said, this game's coming in the winter. This game's coming in 2026.
Right.
And so we didn't really get the expectations, but we got some flippin' weird stuff. So you tell me what the coolest game of that direct was for you.
I mean, do we have to ask? Rhythm Heaven lives, man. Rhythm Heaven grew. The dream finally came true for us, man. It's back. They remembered Rhythm Heaven is a thing that they should keep making, and now they're finally doing it. After what, 9 years? I think Rhythm Heaven Megamix came out.
Was Megamix 9 years ago? I guess it would have been 2016.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wild.
Yeah, so I guess, yeah. So Rhythm Heaven's back, and that's of course far from the only crazy thing that happened. But for me, that was the dream.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit then. So this is the first HD game, first console game since Fever. It's been a long time.
Right.
And ever since the Switch came along, I thought this would be the perfect game for this platform.
Right.
Especially because it's a game where you quite often just press one button, and so being like lounged back on the sofa with one Joy-Con in hand, it feels like the ideal way to kind of play that. And we've had two WarioWares, so they often juggle stuff throughout both franchises. And we've been saying for a while that it feels like Rhythm Heaven time, but it never is. Every direct passes and it's never time. And so to finally see it come back is crazy, and I don't think people quite understand. Ash, they don't understand. They do not understand how cool Rhythm Heaven is.
People who haven't played it
don't get it.
And I've always said that Rhythm Heaven is Nintendo's low-key coolest series, and I'm so glad that a whole new generation of people will get to experience what makes this series so special. And I think there's something really special about this game being available in a communal platform. Like, one of the reasons I loved Rhythm Heaven Fever so much was because it's such an easy sell for onlookers. Like, oh, you just press one game. Oh, I'm not good at video games. You don't have to be. Yeah. Oh, I'm not good at rhythm. No, it's just one button. Just try it. And then people always get pulled into it, at least in my experience. And I think that's what elevated Fever for me and as a console game, because, when it's on handheld, it's very much just a one-on-one personal experience. But getting people into the fun with Rhythm Heaven is what I love so much about Fever. And now we're finally going to get another console game like that in the series.
Yeah, there are two kinds of people. I think you can identify them in your social groups. There are people who have not played Rhythm Heaven, and then there are people who have like gospel desks made for Rhythm Heaven with every franchise in a big circle. There's no in between. You're either one or the other. And yeah, what a cool thing. We've known. I think we've suspected for a while the Switch 1's going to continue after Switch 2. And this is the kind of game that just makes so much sense. Like, you don't need high-end hardware to run Rhythm Heaven.
Right.
And it's so cool that we're not just getting filler games as well. Like 3DS had an issue where it's like, here's all these spin-off games, here's all these lesser games, but Rhythm Heaven is a true A-tier franchise, and I hope people probably give it a chance.
Absolutely. Everybody out there, please buy this game. Just do it. Just trust us.
Yeah.
If you've ever trusted anything John and I have ever said before, make it this.
Yeah.
Go buy this game as soon as it's out.
For sure. Can we talk about two PlayStation games coming to Switch?
Right? Yeah. Out of nowhere.
We were caught off guard because I don't think we were paying attention properly. We saw that a new Patapon was coming, and we assumed it was Ratatan in the moment, which is the spiritual successor. And then on the screen, Patapon 1+2 HD, and I couldn't wrap my mind around it. I couldn't properly process what they were telling us.
Like, we were watching, and we understood that we were watching a Nintendo Direct. We understood that we were seeing Patapon in front of us, but putting the two together just didn't. It still doesn't make sense.
No. And there isn't as much to say about Patapon. Bandai Namco's publishing it. They're just direct ports of 1 and 2, coming to PS5 and Steam as well. Not Xbox, for some reason. But that was it was cool. It's extremely cool. And then you look at the trademarks, and it says Sony Interactive Entertainment are in there, despite it being a Bandai Namco publishing game. But then it got weirder. A brand new Everybody's Golf Hot Shots, which is the coolest type. That's like Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. But Claphands have been doing their own golf IP for a few years now. There's one on the Quest. There's one on the Switch, Easy Come, Easy Golf. I thought they were done. But we got a new Everybody's Golf for the first time since 2017. And what's wild about this one in particular, it's a brand new game. And it seems like Sony are just giving away their Japanese IP. Because both Patapon and Everybody's Golf in the same presentation, multi-platform. I don't understand.
I mean, is Gravity Rush on the way next?
I feel like it is. I feel like it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Final KDC9 in our live audience chat said Ape Escape has a chance to be on Switch now, which is
maybe
technically true.
Yeah. Wild Arms, Shadow Hearts, like they could all happen now, right?
That's crazy. Yeah. So I don't know what kickstarted this trend behind the scenes of PlayStation, or at least Japanese PlayStation IP, being loaned out to Nintendo, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, because like Patapon's one thing. You're porting an old game. It's still unprecedented to take a PlayStation IP and put it on the Switch, but Everybody's Golf is just totally new. They've got, I assume it's Claphands back with the franchise again, which looks awesome.
Yeah.
But you'd think that Sony would try and bring them back, but I guess without Japan Studio, they just sell the IP off. Wild.
Yeah. I just, like I said, or sorry, like you said at the start, this truly was a direct for the weirdos. And I've already seen people say like, oh, this is one of the worst directs ever. Or they intentionally dropped a really crappy direct the week before Switch 2 direct to hype it up even more. But no, man, there was, some of the in-between stuff was whatever. But the hits were hitting. Really knocked it out of the park.
Let's keep on the weirdo train, because they ended off on, I think, the biggest weirdo franchise of them all. Tomodachi is back.
I can't believe Tomodachi Life is back. In the same direct as their new Rhythm Heaven game. What even was this direct?
It starts off on quite a deceiving Animal Crossing-looking beach. And I think we were both like, Animal Crossing? And then you get all the weirdo Miis, and it's clear exactly what it is. But this is crazy because Mii's have been de-emphasized a lot in this era. There's a Mii maker, and we have like Miitopia with its own Mii maker. But Mii's aren't a crucial part of the system like they were on Wii or 3DS. And so I didn't have like that much hope that we'd ever really see this again.
Same. I mean, I really, when Miitopia was released for Switch, my main takeaway was, okay, this is cool, but I really hope they re-release Tomodachi Life too, because I loved the original. And of course, it never happened, and I just kind of assumed, that series is done and dead. And 13 or something years later, here we are with a brand new game in the series, not even a port.
Yeah, this is a similar thing to Rhythm Heaven, where there are two types of people: those who haven't played it, those who have their own little worshipping desk for it. It's a wild game, and in the era of more tightly connected social, this could be really special. Like just sort of sharing the experience with your friends. And this is another 2026 one, right?
I believe so. Yeah, 2026. Yeah. Which we're getting Switch 1 games going into next year, which is wild. But if it's just weird niche stuff like this, I'm super happy with that.
Yeah. Switch has done the big hitters. We don't need to keep revisiting that stuff. We don't need another 3D Mario on the Switch. Switch 2 can get that. So it just feels like they're just kind of doing all the weird stuff they've got left, and I'm so here for it. It's just weird that it's so far in the future that they're announcing this. But I guess it's to give faith that Switch 1 won't just be dropped once Switch 2 comes out.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess in the case of both Rhythm Heaven and Tomodachi Life, it has been so long since the last installments in those series. Maybe they just wanted to give people like us, long-suffering fans of these series, reassurance that they live.
Yeah. I mean, it's bolstered my hopes in seeing so many things. Like, we could see Wario Land again. We could see, I don't know, Mole Mania again. Anything's on the table, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
I guess the other big headline, there's more to say, but the big headline was Metroid Prime 4. And still feels like they're holding back a little bit, but we got to see a lot more of the game in action. The soundtrack sounds beautiful. And we kind of saw the twist of the game too, which is Samus has the ability to move things with her mind.
Yeah, her new psychic abilities, which I'm sure that's not the only one she'll get, but we saw what appeared to be telekinesis in the trailer, and I'm sure there'll be a whole bevy of new psychic abilities for her to try out. But not only I'm looking forward to seeing the applications for those abilities, not just in combat like we saw in the trailer, but there's so many possibilities for puzzles, like environmental puzzles too. I would imagine that really take advantage of those new psychic abilities.
Yeah. I said while we were watching this, I hope the combat evolves because as much as I love Metroid Prime, a lot of it is just locking on and holding down that button or tapping that button endlessly. And as soon as I said that, they showed off the new psychic ability where Samus can control a shot in the air and make it go through a bunch of enemies at once. And
So
they just
cool.
answered our prayers, in real time. I hope there's more stuff like that though. I want Samus to I want to see some Mercury Seam stuff. I want to see like some kind of ability to whack someone. Maybe a counter or something, but
Yeah, that would be cool.
There's still a lot to show.
I'm loving the new purple trim on her suit too.
Very
Looks
nice.
really cool looking. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're pretty certain that we'll see this next week as well. So it's nice to see it running more on the Switch 1 to get a point of reference for when they show it again, how much has actually been improved. And yes, we have seen the box art. The box art's flipping rad.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll post it here in live audience chat for anyone who hasn't seen it, but it's a really slick box art.
She's doing the Sonic 06 posters, Caitlin.
Oh no, she is. I'll
is.
never be able to unsee that.
Oh no. But people have had doubts about whether Retro Studios still have it because they haven't shipped a game since Tropical Freeze. And obviously we have to play it to know, but in terms of presentation, in terms of soundtrack, in terms of ambition, they've still got it.
Yeah.
And I think those are the big highlights. There's more to talk about, but am I missing anything huge?
I mean, in terms of like the big stuff, I don't think so. But then there's like kind of like the stuff between and the big stuff, which was some of it was kind of a downer, but and a little bit there were some dead spots in this direct for sure. But then you got like the randomly weird ones, like Marvel Cosmic Invasion, another .emu classic retro beat 'em up. But this one starring various Marvel characters, including like Captain America, some of the X-Men, like Storm. That looks really good. And of course it does, because that's what they do best.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited.
They're just living their little dream. They're just licensing all these games, living in the 90s forever. It's the way to live. We should all live that way.
I mean, I'd kind of been hoping that we'd get a new X-Men beat 'em up from the Shredder's Revenge team in the wake of, X-Men 97. And this, in a way, kind of is that. At least it's a version of that.
Yeah. As a live audience just said that we saw Dragon Quest 1 plus 2 HD 2D. We did that. That was a known quantity. Looks gorgeous. It was weird that they didn't date it. That's still 2025.
I'm surprised too. Yeah, I thought we'd get a date for that by now, but it hasn't been that long since 3. That was November, so we'll probably get a date like maybe middle of the summer.
Yeah.
Maybe for like a fall release or something. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of fall dates, lots of 2025 dates. Witchbrook was a funny one because you and I remember this game from like half a decade ago. It just disappeared into the ether, got delayed a lot, and then they still didn't date it. It's still holiday 2025. But there were really cool games. Shadow Labyrinth always looks rocking. It looks even more rocking than ever. Can't wait for that. That's pretty close. That's June, I believe. And then Rift of the Necrodancer Shadow drops now.
Right. Rift of the Necrodancer was a really cool thing to see, and I kind of hoped if we did see it in today's Direct that it was going to be a Shadow Drop because it's been out on Steam for like a month now, I think, and lo and behold, it's a Shadow Drop. So I'll be picking that up today for damn sure because that has just a bit of a kiss of Rhythm Heaven in advance in advance of the full new game Rhythm Heaven game coming next year.
Yeah. So if you're excited for Rhythm Heaven or if you never tried Rhythm Heaven before, this might be a cool gateway to get excited. And then the Gradius collection, cool. Brand new Gradius game in there, which is even more cool.
Really cool. Yeah, like Konami's Redemption arc continues, and it's great to see. They're really doing a great job putting out consistent collections while also obviously working on new stuff and modern stuff like the remakes of SH2, and now we got Silent Hill F coming and MGS Delta, and it's great to see Konami just kind of continue to fire on all cylinders here.
Yeah. Here's a question for us and the live audience. All right, so let's say you're not a little weirdo guy. Let's say that Rhythm Heaven, Tomodachi Life, Everybody's Golf do nothing for you. Does it matter when there is a Direct next week as well? How much does it matter that this stuff didn't resonate for some people?
It's the internet. Of course it matters. Of course people are going to be righteously angry that everything wasn't announced specifically for them.
I mean, we knew going into this that the big hitters, all the big stuff, is probably being reserved to Switch 2. It still matters that Switch 1 has that lineup. It still matters that there's a few things that people look forward to. Pokemon's big, Metroid's big. Is there a big picture that we're missing here?
So I mean, me, I'm happy when anyone gets something that they've been really excited for a long time, even if not everything caters directly to me. So, there are going to be people out there, as I've already seen, who are complaining that it was a low-tier Direct and didn't have Zelda, didn't have Smash, whatever, man. That wasn't the point of this Direct, and we all knew that going in.
Yeah. You can point to other things. There was no Kirby Planet Robobots, which has been rumored for a while.
That surprised me. Yeah.
No Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War.
Oh, right. That wasn't here either.
But there's also time. There's still time for that stuff. It isn't now or never. Yeah. They announced Xenoblade X like a month before it shipped on Twitter, and I'm sure they'll continue doing that with other games.
And that feels like something they could do with Kirby as well.
Yeah, for sure.
That could be a Twitter announcement. Yeah.
Yeah. Live Audience says they got Advance Wars a few years ago, so they're happy. I think Advance Wars is probably going to come back again. They've set the stage with that remake. I reckon that a year or so we'll probably get a new Advance Wars.
I think I'm surprised that all these Saga remakes continue to sell. They must sell pretty well because Square just keeps pumping them out, and I'm kind of surprised only because the Saga series is known for being pretty unapproachable for most players. It's a high barrier of entry, but they must do well because we got Saga Frontier 2 remastered coming. It's out today. They shadow dropped it.
Yeah.
I
think this was a pretty solid Direct for a Direct that we had no idea was happening until the day before when we were already expecting a bigger Direct. It came out of nowhere. It pleased me. I can get that it probably didn't please everyone though.
I think for me, the biggest high-profile thing that fell a little flat for me was the Pokemon Legends ZA segment, just because, we technically learned new stuff about the nighttime and the tournament that happened at nighttime, and we saw a Mega Evolution, but we just had the Pokemon Day trailer, and that was cool as well, and I just feel like we didn't need to dedicate 5 minutes of this Direct to... It was mostly
a reiteration of what we knew already.
Yeah, so that was but then that led into Rhythm Heaven, so
yes, it's easy to forget.
yeah.
But yeah, Pokemon is probably the biggest game they've got for the Switch this year. It's a big deal, I get it, but Caitlin says it's only 2 minutes long. It felt like it was more than 2 minutes long, that Pokemon segment.
It felt like it was 4 minutes. I thought I was watching the clock
it forever.
4 minutes.
Yeah.
Jeez, okay. Yeah.
But I think we can probably start to wrap it up, though. That was a weird Direct for weird little guys, and I think everyone in Live Audience, Ash and I, we're all weird little guys, so we're happy.
We are. Yep. Hell yeah.
But let us know what you think in the comments below. Were you happy? If you weren't happy, are you playing Xenoblade Chronicles X? If you are you happy? If you're not happy, I don't know what to tell you. You've got things. Oh, that's true. There was also the news about digital cards, which technically you can use anyone's account on the Switch if you've got an internet connection.
And I just felt like it was very poorly explained. It was just very I get what they're going for and I get what it is, but I just felt like they could have rolled that out in a clearer, more succinct way. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just nitpicking at this point.
But yeah, be happy, everyone. Have a good time, and we will see you next week for another Nintendo Direct for the Switch 2. Really excited for that. So, yeah, we'll catch you later, everyone. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.